Today's video is going to review how to size clothing for boys for the St. John Kids Closet consignment sale. So the first thing you will have done is you will have signed into your account and chosen work with active inventory. And when you do so, that'll come up to this screen and it will always default to the accessories boys, young men category because that is the top category. So first thing you have to do every time you begin or change categories is to select the correct category. So we again are working with clothing. So we're going to click on this. It's going to show us clothing and notice there's 4 different choices. We want to go to boys clothing because that's what we have today. The next thing we have to do, and this is really important, is choose the correct size. So there's 3 different categories basically that you can kind of use for boys clothing. It would either be something for an infant, a toddler size, or a little boy's clothing, basically sizes 0 to 18. So you're talking elementary school up through middle school, maybe not all the way, but that's typically the sizing that falls under the clothing boys category. So let's start with infant clothing. Infant clothing, you're going to use a month indicator. So there's going to be a numerical indicator and a month indicator. And so let's say we have a onesie that says 3 to 6 months on it. Notice we don't have ranges in our sizes. So you're going to come down here and you're going to choose the smaller of the sizes. That takes into account any shrinkage that might have happened after it being worn, and just as a consistent way for us to size our clothing. So I scroll down to the 3s. I'm going to choose my 3 months. Then I would come here, put in my description, and the more descriptive you can be with these 2 lines, the better. If you have a brand name, that helps. If we lose a tag off of an item, the more descriptive it is, the more likely we're able to find the exact item. And we can't sell something without a tag, so that's important. And they do fall off. It's a busy place and a crowded place, and that helps us be able to sell your items if they were to fall off. And then the last thing you have to do before submitting is choose whether or not you want it to be discounted or donated. Now, you only have to do this the first time you go in there if you want everything to be discounted and donated. If you don't, let's say this I do, but maybe on the next item I don't want it to be. It will default to whatever I have chosen for the last item entered. Basically, category, size, and these 2 items will stay the same until I change them. So if I come across an item that I don't want to donate, I just have to unclick it before I submit that item. Just remember to click it back on the next item if you do want that to be donated. So that's how you would enter a piece of clothing for a baby boy. Let's say we had something that was for a toddler, or all you would do then, if it was a 3T, you'll notice we have 3T. So we do have toddler indication. So if your clothing has that indication, please make sure that you use it. And then finally, let's say we had something that was for a little bit bigger child, and we get it and we look at the tag and it has a letter indicator, a small, medium, or large. In the clothing boys category, you cannot use size, lettered size indicators. It has to be numerical. So you have to convert that small, medium, large to a number. Typically, a small is a size 8-10, a range of 8 to 10. And so we would just ask again that you would choose that smaller numerical size. So I would come down here, I've got a small, so that's an 8 to 10. I'm going to choose the 8. I would change my description here because this child is not going to wear a onesie. Maybe change my price, obviously, because it was a different item. And again, discounted, donate, and then submit. So the biggest thing to remember is that clothing boys must have a numerical size. You cannot use the small, medium, and large. You'll notice that the small, medium, and large are reserved for young men's clothing. That's going to be things that a high school kid, maybe an older middle school kid would wear, but not for infants, not for toddlers, and not for elementary age kids clothing. That's the biggest thing we need you guys to remember, and it helps us be more efficient in getting your items to the correct place on the floor and therefore helping them to sell. So that's all I have for you on entering your items, and we look forward to seeing you at the sale.